Hi, so in my program design and administration and rec therapy course at ASU, we are writing written plans of operation for rec therapy services. This is essentially an evidence based written protocol that outlines the model of practice and the therapeutic interventions used to address the needs of a population in a setting of care. I am interested in geriatrics who receive therapeutic rec services in an RT clinic or a certain place that also has RT as well, and wanted to learn about programs in our community. So I wanted to thank you for giving me the chance to learn more about what you do at the Heart Center. So the first question, can you tell me about your education and career and explain how you arrived at this position?
Yes, okay. So education and career. So I went to school at ASU and graduated from the rec therapy program there, which was at that point a concentration as part of a Parks and Recreation Management degree.
Mm-hmm.
Back in 2012, I think was my official graduation date. And through my time at ASU, I was involved with an equine therapy program that was local. And so I put into practice a lot more of the fundamentals and foundations that we were learning within our classes to build adaptive riding programming over at this other programming site. I've been involved in therapeutic riding programs all throughout high school. I grew up riding, so I've always had a passion for working with horses and kids with special needs. But I always thought it was actually something I wouldn't be able to do as a career until I retired. So I figured I would have to have like a real job, and then I could retire and spend time doing what I like to do with the horses. And then when I moved out to Arizona and I was at ASU and I learned about recreation therapy, then I knew it was something that I could make a lifelong career out of, which was really exciting. So I did, and I have always chosen to use my skill sets within therapeutic recreation within an equine therapy program. I have spent some time doing internships and venturing out to other community-based and adaptive sports, and I've done some with some mental health clinics, but horses is really my facilitation method of choice.
I see. That makes sense. And to clarify as well, this is 20 questions long. Um, so it is kind of long. So thank you again for the interview. So number two, what is your job? What is it about your job that you find the most rewarding?
That I find rewarding. That has definitely grown over the years. I would say, really, right now at this point in my career, I find it very rewarding to have created a space where kids that kind of don't fit the mold for regular schools, regular writing programs, they're not, they kind of fall between the cracks with different types of resources. They have found a space to be themselves and to grow and to feel accepted and to flourish with their skill sets with the horses and to find a passion and find meaning with what we do out there. And through that, it also provides their families with a lot of hope and relief and just a lot of peace knowing that their child, who isn't always finding acceptance and in other parts of the community, has a space with us at the Heart Center.
Awesome. And then number three, I had the opportunity to observe the Heart Center on my own before with you. And so, why are the therapeutic rec services important to your program, and what is the overall therapeutic recreation scope of practice at your organization?
So it is important to our organization. It is important to our program. Obviously, there's a wide range of services that you hear about when you hear about kids using horses for therapy. The way I explain it, especially to the horse community, of where we fall into this realm with or as a recreational therapist, is horses, using the horses and the motion of the horse to build physical strength. There's a lot of different goals that fall under that bucket. And for me, as a recreational therapist, when I'm able to use the horses in that intervention space, I can then help grow them through the leisure ability model, so then they are able to quote unquote graduate and move into other spaces within like leisure education and recreation participation. So it's fun to watch them grow with our program and even grow within different types of instructors, from just learning the basics, using the horses to teach the skill sets that they need to know and that they're motivated with learning with the horse, to then being able to have that motivation and have that core love of riding to then learn to ride and participate in more traditional adaptive riding style lessons. And then from there, they get to grow with their riding into more independent recreation type of practices that other equestrians in our community would participate in, such as going to horse shows and maybe one day owning a horse and helping them work through those aspects of the horse world.
I see. Okay. And then, so how are therapeutic recreation programs selected, planned, designed? And then who is all involved in the process, and what steps are taken for approval to begin the programs?
Programming is selected and designed based around the needs and requests of our students. So a lot of our students I've grown with from the time they were young until now that they're young adults. So program has grown and adapted with them based off of the needs of different phases in their lives. So when they were younger, using the horses to build strength, to work on identifying words, following directions, basically being able to have a fun therapy that integrates the skill sets of the other therapists, giving them a reason to integrate the skill sets of the other therapists in their clinic settings they're working on. And as they've grown older, it's grown into more social participation and vocational skills. So we even have a school now because our students do really well in our learning environment. So even our school has a foundation built from the leisure ability model. So that kind of answers the question. If you want to repeat it, or if there's more that you want.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of a long question.
I see how they're selected and designed. What was the next part of it?
Yeah, the next part of that question is who is all involved in the process of like those steps and plans and designs?
So it's going to be dependent on the purpose of the program. So I'd say initially, a lot of the times it's going to start with me. But if it is like an adaptive PE program, then our recreation team or our teachers with the school, they might be in charge of putting that together. I'll go back through the plans for it before it's implemented. If our riding instructors want to go and do, some sort of class that's going to lead more towards like specialized class for like types of clinics for a horse show that's really around more specific leisure education, then that would be something that they would design, and then we would go back through and implement together, making sure all the steps are in place to have it done effectively and safely. So.
Okay, I see. And then what societal trends impact the development of programs and interventions at your facility?
Say that one more time. What trends? What type of trends?
Yeah, so what societal trends impact the development of programs and interviews at your facility?
Yeah, so again, that goes back with the kids that we serve. I've been serving, or they're now young adults. I've been serving for a long time, and so the trends. They're not so much society-wide as much as they are within our little community. Mm-hmm. We provide services to a lot of individuals on the autism spectrum, and so the core group of kids and the people that we do provide services to, they are kind of this group that has really been the front runner in creating the services that are available today. So they're the ones that really pushed for the Empowerment Scholarship for education resources. They're the ones that really, when there was a big need for social groups, they're like this age group of kids is the ones that social groups became more of a larger, well-known entity out here for these populations. So as these students age and as their needs age, then the trends of the type of programming that we provide grow with them. What's really cool about that with the horses is we're able to take it from being something that, they didn't have the attention span when they were younger to spend a whole lot of time at the barn, but they can come out and do a 30-minute lesson, to now those same students who are 16, 17 years old are now coming out and they're doing their lesson and their riding lesson, which is more under the leisure education and the recreation participation, but they also can hold an internship with us and do their volunteer hours for school that count towards vocational training as they are getting ready to graduate. So that way they are learning, barn management and how to help out with like our instructors in the arena or prepping horses for sessions, taking the skills that they've been doing and growing them into the next phase of of how they can use them. So that's really a lot of the trends that I follow and say is just growing with our students and their needs.
I think it's great how like this school is so supportive and how it's always like a very comforting environment. It seems like always the students could always like come to you guys for help and assistance, and they're there for a big part of their lives because they're there for grade school and high school. You said also, I believe, in middle school too. So it's great that a lot of these kids are able to like stay there for a long time and be able to grow connections with you guys.
Yeah, what's interesting is I've taught a lot of these kids in the equine program since they were younger, but our school, the full-time academic program, actually only serves students that are in high school, or I will start some of them at 8th grade if it's an appropriate fit. But the high school specifically is set up because that's a point in most of our students, they're really growing from a basic academic education into pursuing more functional education pathways. And for a lot of our kids, being able to provide that hands-on functional education in a way that's really meaningful to them, aka being able to work out at the barn with the horses, that learning environment is much more conducive, and we're able to do a lot more for the students that we serve. So I don't actually run school for students that are younger than 13, 14, but we do have equine programs and camps and other ways for them to be involved.
I see. Okay, that makes sense now. And then, what is your greatest challenge when starting a new evidence-based therapeutic rec program? So, like for example,
being
like
able to market just marketing. So if you're trying to market for something that's different than what you're known for, being able to convince your clients that that's something else that you want to add on or do.
That makes sense because I know that when I was over there, you guys were talking about like making the gym bigger and increasing, like you need more equipment and doing more stuff with that. So I know that there's for sure challenges with that, especially with equipment because it's very expensive to buy equipment and it's very like time consuming to find proper equipment per person. And you have to have protocols in place to make sure that each person doesn't get hurt and they're able to use the equipment to the best of their ability. And then, who are the members of the service team and who provides the therapeutic rec services?
So myself and Kennedy are the two CTRSs on staff right now. And so we oversee a lot of the protocols and do a lot more of the direct service provision with students as far as the therapeutic recreation services and the specific scope for those. Our operations managers, Carrie and Matt, they live on site and they manage the flow of everything that happens on a day-to-day basis. They help support with classes. They help support the staff and their needs. They also handle a lot of the horse care that happens during the days and the evenings. Jamie is our equine programming coordinator, and she is not a CTRF, but she is a PhD, so a behavioral health technician, and a certified instructor. And she provides a lot of our equine services, both with the kids that are in our school as well as the partner programs that we run and any have our programming that is more equine facilitated learning based, which is different from the riding program. We have another riding instructor who is a past certified riding instructor, and she comes in and does a lot of lessons during the day. We have a couple of staff in the classroom that are teachers and support staff that support the students with academic content, and then also some of the vocational work around the program. So we've got a good sized team now.
Very cool. And then, what competencies are expected of therapeutic rec professionals? And then, what code of ethics and or standards of practice are followed by the professionals at your organization?
Thomas, I have a question for you really fast. What number question are we on right now, just so I know?
We're on 8. If you can't do the entire thing, I can always call you back later if that's best for you.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we put a pause on this for a second? My husband's waving me down from the window inside because my kiddo is not feeling well.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
if we could put a pause on this and we could take it up again in just a little bit, or even first thing tomorrow morning, whatever time you have available, then we can